Hey everyone, this is Signe from the Living Medicine Institute. Um, as a clinician, a psychiatrist, and a ketamine assisted psychotherapy provider that works with ketamine almost every day in the clinic, I just wanted to put out a response to the recent media coverage of Matthew Perry's death. Even though his death happened a while ago, there's new information coming out about what was happening behind the scenes. And it really serves to illustrate the dilemmas with ketamine and also the realities and the misperceptions. So I wanted to make a couple of comments. One, ketamine remains extremely safe, even in high doses. It's used in general anesthesia all the time per surgery. And so its safety profile is known in high doses. Matthew Perry, which is not reported often enough, took a dose of ketamine 10 times that you would give in a ketamine clinic for mental health treatment, combined with two other sedating substances, an opioid and a benzodiazepine sedative, in a hot tub and drowned. And ketamine was in his bloodstream in extremely high amounts and absolutely contributed to that. And he anesthetized himself. And sadly, he was consuming very high amounts of ketamine obtained illegally through the black market. And this is a parallel to sort of opiate addiction and other things that you see with people who need to start using more and more and then start looking for black market sources. So it's clearly a tragic situation. It's also a good reminder of the danger of home use of ketamine or unsupervised use, and a reminder that ketamine is actually an addictive substance. Ketamine addiction has been known for decades. There's been underground use of ketamine and illegal use of ketamine and ketamine addiction for a long time. Those of us who work in ketamine or run ketamine clinics like we do know that people who have access to high amounts on a daily basis can become addicted. This is actually the argument for why ketamine used for mental health treatment, where it is quite effective, needs to be done in a medically supervised way where it is quite safe. So in clinics like ours and most reputable ketamine treatment centers, we're using evidence-based, science-backed protocols, much, much lower doses than anything that was found in Matthew Perry's bloodstream, and doses that have been demonstrated to be safe in many, many research studies and randomized controlled trials. In infusion clinics, which is where most people are getting ketamine treatment, they're really only given a dose of ketamine under medical supervision. They're not taking it home with them, and they're only going to be receiving the medicine for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of sessions. It's not something they can take indiscriminately or up their dose on themselves. So if clinics who are following these sort of gold standards are sticking to that, then they're having very low addiction rates or safety concern rates. And that's been borne out in our clinic and many others. So, I think there's two main messages out of the Matthew, Perry tragedy. One is that ketamine needs to be done in a safe clinic setting where this does not happen. This has not happened. And this has been looked at. There's no data that this happens when it's medically supervised. And then the second point is that underground use of ketamine, black market use, and addiction are actual real problems, and you can be addicted to ketamine if you don't use it in a safely prescribed way. Both those things are true. And so I just wanted to put that out there. And, for those of you who are either in ketamine treatment, whether it's with us or somewhere else in the country, or are considering it, obviously do your homework and make sure that you feel good about the place you go and that it has a good reputation. Make sure that there is a high level of medical supervision, that you have licensed clinicians, that there is resuscitation equipment and emergency, urgent care level resuscitation ability, which is what we have, though we have never had to use it. And make sure that you have a thorough conversation around things like risk and all of that with your provider. But the chance that you would become addicted to ketamine by doing a standard protocol of infusions is incredibly low. And that's a science data-based statement. If you are looking at home prescription of lozenges or nasal spray, the risk of addiction is higher. We don't have clear numbers for that, but anecdotally and just logically, we know it is for the reasons I just discussed. People can slide into using it more or become addicted to that, like any other substance that's potentially can cause addiction. So be cautious on that level, and be reassured if you are receiving it in a thoroughly medically supervised way. So I hope this has been helpful and potentially just summarized in a nutshell the dilemmas that are out there. I do think the press coverage has been a bit misleading in the way that it talks about ketamine as the primary contributor to Matthew Perry's death without really the broader context for the incredibly high amounts he was taking in combination with other substances in a hot tub, where he probably anesthetized himself for these multiple substances and then drowned. And this is not a situation that has like anything in common whatsoever with medically sanctioned use of ketamine in a reputable, medically monitored clinic setting. So be careful, be informed, and if you feel like this is a treatment that would help you, don't be afraid to inquire and learn more about it. There are really good people doing this work out there who are paying a lot of attention to safety. Take care.